Hi,
Hello,
welcome to Podpad Studios. No, Podpad Studios. Remember, you've got to get that one right. So we haven't sat here for a long time, which is pretty obvious, really.
We're a bit out of practice.
Out of practice, yeah. So we have been very busy, though, haven't we? And obviously we've forgotten about all the giggles as well. Although there were some mega Mrs. Breaker moments over the last weekend, which I'm not even sure that we can share them, actually.
Bit private,
I think these might be saved.
If you know, you know.
Yeah. Anyway, so what have we been doing?
We've been busy because we've been down at Geekfest to Cornwall last weekend, and we've been getting everything ready for Open Studios, which is the 16th and 17th, 23rd and 24th.
So do you want to explain what Open Studios is?
Yes, so Open Studios is like a local thing in Swindon where hundreds of artists or 100 artists open up their studios for free, and you can go and have a look at where the art is made and their art, and you can buy some art if you want. Most of them just really love talking about their art, and it's all about letting people who wouldn't maybe do art actually get involved in art and see it being created. And as part of that, we're part of a group called the Mulberry Gathering, and Mulberry Gathering open up the studios. We're kind of linked to another artist and illustrator's studios, so it's quite a big site. When you come and walk around ours, you'll get to see some of our props in action.
Well, you'll get to come and see around our workshops.
Yeah, and the workshops.
And then what we're going to do is slightly different this time, in that we're going to get all the robots out.
Yeah, so it's robotics this time.
And it's going to be a little bit more about, if you want to know about things, how to build things and stuff like that, we're going to do kind of little workshops and stuff like that.
Have the Batmobile out, obviously the dragons will be around. Our new additions, this is also...
So you've seen a little bit, I think, in the last episode, how I started these. They still haven't got names, so please contribute. Comments below. What are we going to call them? I don't know. They were a massive hit at Geekfest. They went down really, really well.
Yeah. And of course they do move, and you'll see a little bit of that later on.
Well, let's show them now.
Should we show them how they were made?
This is how they were made. Right, so that's how we did the Vultures. They're probably going to have some tweaks done on them, and I must admit, old Tiffany here behind us, who's hiding in the background, she's out in a couple of weeks' time, and we're going to be talking a lot more about object recognition and some of the new things we've done with that. I managed to get hold of some Raspberry Pis now because they've come back into stock.
Woohoo.
So I think we're going to be introducing some of that technology that's on Tiffany into some of the Dragon tech and the birds, and I think it'd be really, really cool. So, you know, it's something very new. But interestingly, we had tons and tons of people talk to us.
Yeah, loads and loads of questions at Geekfest.
Specifically about how we build things. And one thing came up in particular, which was really, really funny, which is probably one of my favourite workshop tools. Now, this is a standard hobby glue gun, sort of thing you used to play with when you were at school. Or they're brilliant, actually, for any sort of sticking lightweight materials onto card or fabric and things like that.
Quick fix.
Quick fix, yeah, but not so good if you want to come to use more heavy duty things. So we get asked a lot, how do you glue EVA foam? How do you glue metal to foam? How do you glue
neoprene
to metal to foam without it all falling apart? Because one of the big things is, obviously, you make a costume out of EVA foam, put it in the back of your car, it gets really sunny, come into the event, and it all pulls apart. Industrial glue guns. Now, I say industrial glue guns. I've got this one. I bought this one ages ago, and it's just... We're going to put a link below to where we got it, and Mrs. Breaker in a minute is going to give you some tech facts on them. But they're great simply because you can change the glue sticks that you put in it. Now, you can put glue sticks in these ones, you know, these type, but the difference is these are high flow glue guns. So basically, when they heat up, it will get through one of these glue sticks in literally a matter of seconds. if you wanted it to. So if you wanted a high content of glue, pull the trigger and
you just keep pumping.
You just keep pumping
it keeps coming out.
Because the heating element is so much more efficient, it's really good. You can change the temperature on the glue gun because it's got a temperature control unit on the bottom. Now, what that means, and this thing on the back, it changes kind of the flow of the glue. Now, these things just can be left on. When you leave these things on, they can overheat, they can burn out. These things can just be left on all the time. This thing is just awesome bit of kit.
Yeah.
Now, the beauty of that is you could run everything from standard hobby glue sticks, which you can get, in hobby and craft shops, to that's a polyurethane kind of glue, a little bit like araldite that you get, when you have the twin pack araldite. That's pretty good for that. So that's excellent at sticking metal. And the beauty about this one is that it doesn't stick it instantly. You've got I don't know what they're called.
Time.
The set
it's
times.
A set time, isn't it?
And
looking.
The glues have different set times. So you can glue it, and then it might be that you have to wait 5 minutes or that you have to wait 10 seconds. So I've got another glue which I've actually run out of, which is almost like a super glue, which we use a lot on. We use it on all sorts of things for really quick fix, very strong. Coloured glues. This is black. We use this one a massive amount. Now this one is a clever glue. Now, all right, these are cheap.
Yes.
This is cheap, normal hobby glue. This is a lot more expensive. So there is simply no point in you buying this if you're not needing. But if you just need a hobby glue gun.
If you're making a costume that you want to use for 2 or 3 years and you're going to take it around and leave it in cars, then actually £50 for, how many was it, 200 glue gun sticks?
It depends on the glue sticks you buy.
Whatever.
So what you'll see is when you go online, and again we'll put a link below, you can choose the kind of glue that you want to stick things. So for example, if we're sticking aluminium to perspex, each of them will have different properties in terms of their thermal properties. So you need a glue that's kind of almost going to etch in and work into it. And that's finding the right glue. And it sounds crazy that you can use that kind of glue with a glue gun, but it works. It works. We glue all sorts of things together, from the cars to the motorbikes to the dragons.
We tend to use glue guns direct. They have a huge selection of different glues and they're quite technical. For example, when it's talking about that glue gun on there, it's talking about its high output in excess of 2.5 kilos per hour. That sounds like my cake consumption, mate.
No, actually, if you want higher flow than this, these are only 12 mil, I think.
Yeah, you can get...
So you can get the 15 mil, or you can get the much bigger chunks of glue.
But you'd have to buy the right glue gun.
Oh, you have to buy the right...
Each glue gun is down to a certain mil, how many mil it will take.
So you choose the glue gun base. I chose this one
is a
simply because
12 mil.
It was good enough for what we needed.
And it goes up to 195 degrees centigrade. It does get hot. That's the other thing, just to say. Obviously, the hobby glue guns, fine with kids... don't get they still get hot.
If you're going to use them with kids, there's what's called a cool glue guns.
Yeah,
and the temperature is much higher. But this will literally, with the wrong glue on your fingers, it's going to take your skin off instantly.
And there's sometimes some swearing in the studio when we use it.
What I really lust after is the gas version of this.
No, that's fine. That's
I'm
fine.
going to keep this. This is wide. It comes with a very, very, very... very long wire, which is great, but there is a wireless version, so to speak, which is a gas cartridges in it, and I think.
What do you like most about it? Ooh, the long wire.
You can see that. You can see that the glue gun is a pretty good bit of kit. Anyway,
I think it's time. Really.
No, actually, you had another comment about paint.
Oh yes, we did have another paint because we've been talking to Chezarine Cosplay, who came up and had a long conversation with us. Thanks, Chezarine. We love having conversations with people about how we make stuff. The paint we used on the dragons was System 3, and we're not supported by them at all.
No, none of this is sponsored.
None of this is sponsored. It's a deal around I think it's about £11 for this much, but it goes forever and ever and ever, and it doesn't seem to dry up, even though the black we've got, because we need some more. We keep taking the cap off and scraping the bottom, and put the cap back on, and it's been
so a lot of people were asking, what's the difference? Why not go out and spend like literally £1 on the sort of acrylic paint that you can get?
Which you can get
again, that you used to have in schools and stuff like that, and it's this sort of stuff. And you can, and there's absolutely nothing wrong with it, and it's absolutely great, and you can get some beautiful colours and whatever. The System 3 has a higher content of latex in it, so what we find is it's very flexible paint.
Yeah.
So whereas these, you can paint on beautiful colours, but any flexibility in it will crack.
Yeah. Which, if you're just painting on a bit of card is fine. Or if you're just painting a painting, it's going to stay flat, that's fine. But obviously, Dragon's very undulating, the wings move. And I do just touch them up occasionally before we're going to go out, but
Yeah.
I don't really... The only thing I need to catch up is when they get in a fight and they get scraped.
The other thing about this is you can mix this with liquid latex, which I did for the a couple of projects that we've done. I think for Rose's head was done like that, because her mouth and everything else moves. And it would just crack off otherwise. So just get the liquid latex, just mix it with the paint, and it mixes seamlessly.
More, and it's thick; it goes over anything.
Yeah.
So it recoats. So you do need to leave drying time in between working, obviously, like all acrylics. But yeah, it's cool. It's really cool. So
I don't know what else we've been doing, really. We've been doing lots of other things. We've got lots of other projects on that we'll talk about in the next few months as we go through them. And obviously, the dragons are going through their phase of growing up.
Yeah.
So for those of you that didn't really get that there's a story behind the dragons, which I'm not going to go into now because you probably already know. But they're baby dragons. So even though Rose is a baby dragon, she's a fledgling, the Stardust and Steel are baby dragons. But they're now going to be growing up and they're going to become teenagers. Yeah. And obviously, as we know with teenagers, they get
gangly.
They get gangly. So basically, the dragons are going to get bigger. So instead of just scrapping them and building other ones, we are physically going to make them get bigger. Bigger wings, all sorts. So,
and the witch will obviously interfere with that too, because she likes interfering with them. So there will be a bit of change there.
Because she doesn't want them flying away and being opinionated.
Wings,
so she's going to control them. Yeah. So there's some quite gruesome things that she's going to do.
A little plug for Wyntercon, which is in the middle of October. So
and you will see the new dragons at Wyntercon.
At Wyntercon.
At Wyntercon, yeah.
So let's see a little bit of the dragons as they are now at Geekfest.
At Geekfest. Are we going to say goodbye then?
Don't forget to subscribe and click that button and the bell button and everything. We have just pulled out our 1,500 subscriber review. Thanks, Clem. We'll put that in a separate video. And there is a lucky winner who will get some of our coasters and our key rings. And obviously the next draw we'll be making will be for the owl at 2,000 subscribers. Ooh.
So again, we've asked about the owl massive amounts.
Yeah.
I'm not making any more. It's the last one.
So make sure you subscribe to get your name in the draw. You have to have your settings to public so I can see you've subscribed to put you in the draw.
Yeah.
So give us a sub. Win that owl. And we'll see you next time. Bye.
Bye.